I'm ready to drop my YouTube channel brand, and this is why. You see, when I started my making channel back in 2017, I did it with this core value, this mantra, this motto that I had for myself in the channel of build a good story. Go build a good story. Build a good story. Good story. Good story. Good story. And until next time, you should go build a good story. Now, my mission statement was that I wanted to inspire geeky dads to build stuff with and for their kids. That was my hope for the channel. And that worked pretty okay for my channel and the things that I was building. But all of that changed when I made that first Ninjago video. How to make the Lego Ninjago Sword of Fire. See, my son asked me to start making him some Ninjago golden weapons. And I didn't think that the video was gonna perform very well, but it blew up. And that Ninjago video turned into another Ninjago video, which turned into another Ninjago video, which turned into a series that all was performing so insanely well. Those videos gained so much traction and so many views. And what ended up happening is that I got pigeonholed into Ninjago content. It's a bad drawing, I know, but you get the picture. So what ended up happening is that anytime I would put out a Ninjago video, the videos would do great. I would get like 1 to 2 million views per video. But if I tried to do something else or build something that wasn't Ninjago, the videos would get buried and I would get maybe 1 to 200 views on those videos. And the disparity between the reaction I would get from my Ninjago videos compared to my non-Ninjago videos became more and more dramatic. And so after dwelling on this problem that I effectively put myself into, I was trying to figure out what to do about it moving forward. And after talking to some YouTube strategists, I got the recommendation that the best course for me and for my channel would be to split up.
We need to split up
my content between the Ninjago Lego content and then my geek content. And so that's what I did. 8 months ago, I split my YouTube channel up. I kept all of the Lego videos on the original channel, and then I took all of my geeky videos and projects and put them onto a brand new channel. I renamed the Lego channel Baba Makes. Now, I have 2 problems with the Lego channel. The first is the name. Baba Makes was just meant to be a placeholder, something that I could put on that channel while I moved all of the branding and the name of Once Upon a Workbench from that original channel over to the new one. The problem? I don't really like the name Baba Makes. It's not really reflective of the type of content that I'm making on that channel. And the second problem I have is that during that whole process of switching everything over, of changing the channel name, of changing the icons and the banners, of pulling all of the content off and moving it onto a new channel, is that if people weren't keeping up with me on social media or on the community tab, by the way, if you don't keep up with me on the community tab, it's where I give a lot of updates on things that are going on. But if you weren't keeping up on the community tab, people didn't know about this changeover, this switch, this transition that was happening from Once Upon a Workbench to Baba Makes. And so pretty quickly and pretty drastically, my views and my subscribers started to fall away at an alarming rate.
The whole situation is most alarming.
Now, because I had so many people unsubscribing from that channel, because the views were dropping on the new videos on that channel, the algorithm noticed, hey, people don't like this content anymore. My new videos weren't being pushed out. And what happened is that the CPM on those videos started to plummet. I ended up making pennies where before I used to be making dollars. And so one of the things that's gonna be changing is I'm rebranding that channel. I'm dropping the Baba Makes name, and I'm gonna come up with a name, a brand, and a logo that's more reflective of the style of videos on that channel. I also want those videos to have a broader appeal. And so some of the projects that are gonna be coming up are gonna be more general Lego projects rather than just specifically Lego Ninjago weapons. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna make Lego Ninjago weapons and other Lego weapons, but they're gonna be mixed in to these other general Lego projects that will appeal to a wider audience. And with the redesign, the videos themselves are gonna be brighter, they're gonna be quicker, they're gonna be more colorful. As a whole, they're gonna be more fun. Now to talk about the elephant in the room, what's gonna happen with Once Upon a Workbench? See, my idea for that content was this package that I had everything wrapped into. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make narrative, cinematic making of pop culture stuff. That was my package for Once Upon a Workbench that I put all of these videos into. Now, over time, I realized that little bundle that I had set for myself for this type of video came with some pretty dramatic problems. The first problem I had is that lately, it kind of feels like the projects and the videos that I'm making aren't in line with this original mission statement that I had for myself.
Little off course here.
The one exception to that would be the Pokemon Feel Better box. That was a project made specifically for my son to address an issue that he was having and that we built together. It fit into this mission statement of building things with and for your kids in order to build those good stories, in order to build those memories. And it's something that he still uses to this day. As far as the rest of the things that I've been making, well, it kind of feels like a lot of the projects that I've made lately haven't been made with this mission statement and have kind of just been projects for me and videos for me. And because that's the case, regardless of how good I tried to make the video look or how cool I thought the project was, it was just not reaching the audience I thought it was intended to reach. The next problem is that because there was less and less money coming in from the LEGO channel, it was really hindering the scale and the scope of the things that I could make on my Once Upon a Workbench channel. And so that meant that I had to try to keep projects small, and because I was trying to keep projects small, I fell back into that, doing projects that I thought were cool, making projects for me, making videos for me, and not for the audience that I wanted to make these projects and make these videos for. The last problem is that how are people finding my content? Which kind of comes down to this elevator pitch of how I describe what it is that I do on YouTube. And that problem became glaringly obvious when I went to Vid Summit. See, I had the opportunity to meet hundreds of people at Vid Summit. And during the conversation, inevitably, this moment would happen. So, what kind of content do you make? Oh, I make Geek Dad DIY content. And as soon as I would say that, people would pull out their phones, they would open the YouTube app, and then start typing in Geek Dad DIY. Now the problem is that if you type in Geek Dad DIY into YouTube, I don't come up, even though that is how I constantly describe what it is that I do on YouTube and the type of content that I make. And so what ended up happening is that I would have to clarify. No, actually the name of my channel is Once Upon a Workbench because what I do is I make cinematic narrative, build videos of pop culture stuff, and my elevator pitch would quickly devolve into a monologue. As I was driving home from Vid Summit, I kept ruminating about this problem and this situation that I kept having over these three words, Geek Dad DIY. Now I speak Chinese, and one of the things that I love about the spoken Chinese language is that a lot of times the words to describe a thing is the name of that thing, rather than having a separate, unique, individual word for every single thing, kind of like we do in English. And so I kept thinking about these three words. And if Geek Dad DIY is how I describe what it is that I do on YouTube, why isn't that my name? Well, now that I've laid out all of these problems, what am I gonna do about it? Well, during that drive home, I came up with 4 possible solutions. The first would be to completely change the content style on my channel. Since I originally had this idea of doing narrative cinematic build videos, what I could do is fully lean into that narrative cinematic build style like I originally thought about doing. But what that means is that ultimately I'm gonna have to drop the geek part of what it is that I do on YouTube. The second option I came up with would be to drop Once Upon a Workbench as a brand and rebrand my channel to something like Geek Dad DIY to fit that theme and aesthetic that I've already set up for my channel and to move forward from there. And the third option, which I am honestly least excited about, would be to split into 3 channels. To keep my LEGO channel, to have my Geek channel on its own channel, and then do Once Upon a Workbench as a narrative cinematic build channel. That would require a lot of more work, hence why I am not as excited about that option as I am about other options. And the fourth option is the nuclear option. This would entail shutting everything down, starting over, and building something back up from scratch. Now, regardless of what it is that I decide to do moving forward, I know that I have a good foundation. I have the ideas, the capabilities, the technical abilities to make good projects and good videos. And even with that good foundation, these past couple years, I feel like I've had a hard time figuring out what to build on top of that foundation. And I'm at the point that, to borrow a literary term, I am ready to kill my darlings. You know, at my core, I love making videos. I love making things. You know, outside of my family and my friends, there's very little in life that gives me those gleeful, happy, giddy, excited moments like making things does. So cool. And I feel those happy, giddy moments every time I'm working on something and something comes together, or I finish a project, or I press publish and upload a new video to YouTube. Beyond everything else, at its core, that's who I am. I love making videos, I love making things, and I love doing things with my family. Oh, and so, what does that all mean? Well, it means that things are gonna be changing, but that's okay. That's okay, it's a good thing. Sometimes in life, when things aren't working, you pivot to something else that will work. And I feel like that is what I'm doing now. Now, depending on when you watch this video, things may already be changing. My name may have changed, the logo may have changed, the style may have changed a little, but at its core, at its heart, I'm still me, making videos of things that I love doing with the people I love doing them on a platform that I like making videos for. So thank you for being a part of this journey. And until next time, well, go build a good story.